So Vav is explaining Shem Tzvakos. And why is that mentioned in Torah? Because Torah's Moshe is Torah at the level of Atzilus, which is the Dag of Moshe and his generation, as we learned in Tavshin Chav. And there, Iyava Chayur had, Iyava Garmoy had, and that's where we find this whole Anhoga. All the wars were done exclusively at Avayi Lachem Lachem. Unlike Yeshua, where it begins the Yerida in Biyah, the Yerida of Neshamas, where even though they were Nisim, but still they were Malubish in Teva. So Tzvakos means hosts, legions, multiplicity, division. That's already the Eibishter, through the emergence of Biyah and the Likus, the Avodah of the Nevi'im to be Mamshech Likus in Biyah. So that's what we're up to. V'seu Inyan Shem Tzvakos. 5 lines in the, or 6 lines, 8 lines in the top of page Lamed Hey. So that's Shem Tzvakos, Shem Shechadei Nevi'im, which that's the Avodah of the Nevi'im, and therefore the Avodah of Yidden going forward from there. As the Gemara says, that Tzvakos is 2 words, Oiso B'Tzavah Shaloi Shegam B'Nivroim D'Biyah. That even as creation has emerged with a sense of independence, separation, and division, all that implied by the word Tzava, Yir Ois, should be Ois. And who is that? Who Yisborich Mamish B'Tzava Shaloi. The Eibush himself should be revealed and present there. Shegam B'Biyah, it's a big chiddush. The Yir Iva V'Gam Moyechad K'may B'Atzilis. It's like looking at the painting where the artist is not standing there visibly and transparently, and nonetheless appreciating the painting, not as if seeing the artist there. And that, of course, is Avodah. That's Avodah. Atzilus is not Avodah, but the Avodah starts in Biyah. V'in zeh u'lamaylim b'chinas tzva avaya, and this is higher. This is a big chiddush than the Malach Shahayik v'Yeshua that appeared to him. Right, that we quoted yesterday. Kisar tzvo havayu malach. Yeshua experienced the malach. It's negeya because that's he described himself as sova, as an officer, as it were, sar tzva havayu, the legions of the Lord. But it's still a malach. Mashenkin Shem Tzvakos, but the name Tzvakos, as it refers to Hashem as one of his holy names, the halacha finally is that it is from the 7 names that are sacred, not to be erased, because the Gevaldike Chiddush is ki gam b'biyah nasi v'gam moyechad. The likus is drawn into creation. The creation becomes nullified, experience its truth, its total union with Hashem. And that's why this was Nischadish later. Then at that point in history, at that juncture, that they effected that even in the Kelim of Biyah should be the Islapshus of Vedins of Baruch Hu, B'tachlis HaYichud. K'mei b'Kelim d'Atzilus. And that's consistent with their own matziv of the Navi himself. The Navi speaks Dvar Hashem, but it's his own words. It's his own words, unlike Moshe Rabbeinu, who is an oracle relative to the Nevi'im. Because that's the yichud of Elikos with Nivroim. But they say, and therefore when you say it's like Atzilus, it means greater than Atzilus, because it's a far greater chiddush. But they say Nikro, who is Baruch B'Shem Tzvakos, in that sense Tzvakos is greater. So therefore Hashem is called Tzvakos, like is referred to by the other names of Kel, Elikim, and so on. Shemoid and the other names refer to Alakelim Dalatzilus. These the Kelim, they're Midas, Fish V'Garmoyucha. Gam Tzvakos Lashon Chayolos. So Chiddush is that also the hosts, Chayolos, armies, Kedudei Neshamas, troops of Neshamas, Malachim, and angels, all of Elam Abriya, and lower, Nasa Chad Ima Yisborech, become one with him. Then the shayla is going to be, how does this happen? They're not neshamas datzilis. You're living in the world of biyah, of multiplicity. Acknowledging that there is a creator is one thing. Bittul hayesh is one thing, but we're talking here about having the experience of bittul b'mitzius, like there is an atzilus, we're simply not atzilus. So how is this possible? This, that we'll explain further. And I see you end of the Maimer. We'll get there, with Hashem. So first of all, this chiddush, it's a gewaltige chiddush. We're saying the Shem Tzvokos means that there should be the same unity and atzilus also in biyah. So the gewaltige chiddush, that Tzemach Tzedek points out, Kosev Chacham Mora Tzemach Tzedek, that Tzemach Tzedek writes, Shebeitz Chaim Lamed Tzinu Zeh. We don't find such a thing, we don't find this statement where it deals with the Shem Tzvokos, that it is the same Yichud as Atzilus. Shemizem Mashma, so we see from the Tzemach Tzedek, or from from what he points out, with respect to what is found in the Eitz Chaim, that this is the Alter Rebbe's Chiddush, that even in Biyah should be this Yichud. And clearly this is a final concluded perforce, because the Tzemach Tzedek doesn't write any other market to this Inyan, the Alter Rebbe's beard of Shem Tzvokos, or moving Geidla Chiddush Ve'eli the Shem Tzvokos. So it's understood this tremendous Chiddush here and virtue of Shem Tzvokos, Shenasa the Avedis B'nai Yisrael, the Yidden bring about Kamesh Yisrael b'mayim the matz of this man and Nevi'im, when Yidden on the Shomas are the Bria and lower. Higher than the time of Moshe, who is described, his face is luminous like the sun, and Yeshua like the moon. And the Chiddush becomes greater, appreciating that, to befrat Kamesh Yisrael, Yisrael b'mayim with the matz of this man and Nevi'im achronim. Takechana was the first one to, and Shmuel, to refer to Hashem as Hashem Tzvokos, but the ones that really use the name is the Nevi'im Achronim, Yeshaya, Yirmiyahu, Shoy B'Sof, Bais Rishon, that were the end of the first Beis HaMikdash. V'tchila Zman HaGolus. V'al Bazman Shel Acher, and it didn't end there, but it continues in the time afterwards, which is Yitzir Asiyah and Golus Mamish at the lowest level. Shagam Belim is Biyash, even in Biyash, Mitzadatzmeim Nivroyim Nifrodim, that their natural state is separate, and l'chora the best we could hope for and achieve is bit layesh. I am something, and I acknowledge where I come from. But no, that there should be even in Nivroyim Dingen Yiva Garmayachadu. That this inyan which exists, this absolute unity, which exists in the world of unity, which is Atzilus, there should be also an Atzilus. So it's a gewaltige Chiddush. Shlomo, the Rebbe says that and suggests Shezeu ha-pirush la-psak din shetzvakis Hashem kodesh. This is the reason why that the Shem Tzvokos is a holy name, one of the 7 names, or B'chol Zeh, it's kind of a stira. On the one hand, a contradiction. On the one hand, we're saying the halacha is it's one of Adebish's holy names. Or B'chol Zeh Nikra Hashem Tzvokos Shaloi. No. Right. Yes, I think. So the Gemara says, okay, he's called, why is he called Tzvokos? Because he's a sign in amongst his hosts. Who are the hosts? Al Shem Yisrael Yidden. Kizesh Tzvokis Hashem Kodesh, the reason it's a holy name is Hainu Shagam B'Biyah Iya V'Gam Mayuchad, that this Chiddush should be even amongst Yidden, as you said before, in the Neshamas, as they become Nivroim. Zen Nasa, here's the point here, Zen Nasa, the Avodah the Yisrael Canal. And this is brought about through the Avodah of Yidden, as explained later in greater detail. It's the Avodah of Yidden that they are called, here's the point, Yidden are called Tzvois, they're called hosts. And they are the ones that can make the Shem Tzvokos. They are the ones that can be Mechadish, this Inyan of the Iva Chayir Chad, even in Biyah. In other words, the other names are not made by Yidden or associated with Yidden. The other names are God's names, not a result of Chiddush and Avodah of a Yid. Havai, Elikim, Kel, etc. Here, Shem Tzvokis is a gewaldige Chiddush that the Nevi'im affect the unnatural, naturally Biyah separate. And they're affecting that even in Biyah there should be this unity. Who does that? So this very name, that is the point here, the very name that expresses the unity of Hashem with Biyah is a very name associated with Yidden, because that is in fact the Chiddush of Yidden over and above what the Eibishter created, but Derech HaTeva, as it were, that Biyah is separate. Who affects this revolution and change? It's Yidden. And Yidden are called Tzvois, hosts. And that's why this name is a result of the Chiddush of Yidden, of the Nevi'im of Yidden. And that's why it's called Tzvokos. You follow? We're not discussing that now, no. No, that's two levels in Avodah of Yidden. Here, there's the general Nakuda, that it's Yidden, the Nevi'im. In other words, there's Ishtalshalos as it's created naturally by the Eibishter, and only Atzilus is the world of unity, and Biyah is not. And to be in Biyah without Avodah, again, the best that one can achieve is Bittul Hayesh. You can't lose your sense of separation, but you can acknowledge that I come from God in a very deep way, and that's a pretty wonderful experience in its own right. Bittul Hayesh, Kiskafia. But we're saying no. We're saying that a Yid has the koyach, and that's the whole kavanah of the Bria, is to transform creation and bring and reveal Hashem's unity even lamata. That's the koyach of a Yid. Tzvokos means, as the name of God, Hashem Tzvokos means the Eibishter revealed in a way of with creation, with absolute unity. Who achieves that? That's not the way God made it. Yidden, who are called Tzvois, Hashem's hosts. Clear? So this is a name. The very name itself is associated with the Yidden, because the Yidden are the ones that affect Mechadish this name. This name wasn't around before. The name is not a natural name of God. The natural name of God is the Sev Atzilus, the way they are Atzilus, they're appropriate names. They're names of Hashem, of the Eibishter. Comes along the Nevi'im Mechadish, and the Eibishter has a new name. What's the new name? That this unity is experienced and revealed even in Bria, which is not the way He created it. And that's the Chiddush of Eden. As I told you, nice Yud later, and this is so typical of Rebbe's Memorim, that Rebbe will explain deeper, because how was a Yid able to do that? Because Yid's Mushish and Atzma was higher than Atzilus even, and therefore is able to achieve the otherwise patently impossible, and that is that even the Matan ultimately Elam Hazard did it, but Achtoinim should be Giloi Atzmos, and Yiva Chayor Ichad should be revealed even down here, and therefore way beyond the way it is in Atzilus, because it's even in the Vroyim, and even in Elam Hazard. But he's saying the point now. I'm just telling you that later will be further explanation on how Yidden able to do this. V'zeh Nasa, last line of the page. Yeah. How is it possible to achieve this unity in the Elam Biyah? Because Yidden Mamshech from a very lofty level, higher than Torah, because in Torah there's no Shem Tzvokos. Higher than Torah, the way it was revealed in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is Torah, the way it is Neilam Atzilus. As he goes in the Seishah, the Torah, in this Kashem Tzvokos. Higher in brackets, Mitzad B'chinas HaTorah, because as Torah, as far as Atzilus is concerned, Ha'inyan Diva Gambayachad, Rak B'Atzilus. As far as Torah is concerned, there's a way to convert again. That as far as Torah is concerned, that in order to bring about the unity in Biyah, it's not possible. It's only possible in Lamatzilus. But this is the Koich of Yid, the Koich of Tshuva, that Chassidus always speaks about. It is hide in Torah. And the Koich of Anasham, and the Koich of the Bir of the Tachten, and the Koich of the whole irony and Chiddush that the Eibush has invested, Dafke, in Elam Hazen, the Yidna Machadish in Torah. He didn't take Torah beyond its own limits. In the words of the Zoya, that David HaMelech has mamshich Kutchebricho into Torah. It's even higher than Torah, that's mamish the etzem, and the shamish is solam mushish in Atzmos, he explains later, higher than Torah. Therefore, we can go even beyond the boundaries of the logic of Torah. Torah says Atzilus is the world of unity, and Biyah is not, and can't be. And the Yid is mechadish that even in Biyah can be this complete oneness. It's all part of the Avodah Siberurim that happens dafke lamata through the Avodah of Yid, which he goes on to explain now. We're clear? Yeah? Yes? Good. I'm telling you what it says at the end of the Maimon. I'm bringing it to bear here, so we have some understanding. Mokem Elin Yosef means higher than Atzilas, higher than Torah. So what are you talking about? So this Hamshacha of what? Mamshech Elikus and in Welt, in Biyah. And achieving this unity of creation with Biyah. So this is done through the whole Avodah Birurim, which means engaging the world and elevating the sparks. It's not the Tereh Baal Shem Tov, anything you own. That is, I spoke B'chlal, there's an Itzutzik Dusha in all things. And the neshamas come, and the neshamas come down to the world to elevate in the Tzutzik Dusha that fell in Shviras HaKelim, etc. But the Baal Shem Tov took it further. It took many things further, but one is this inyan, and that is that everything you own is a very personal thing. That everything you own, yashnam that everything that you own, that you come across, that you encounter, is because those things have to be elevated by you, and they have a unique connection to your neshama. Not standard, they have to be elevated by somebody, but this has to be elevated by you. This is what this came along to do, b'chlal. Its revelation is to reveal ever deeper that it's all about the personal relationship with the Eibishter. And this crystallizes and becomes deeper. And all of the Rebbeim, ultimately in the Rebbe's Maimorim, which we are learning now, what this the Baal Shem Tov explains, why the Torah has pity in halacha on Jewish money, and there's all kinds of halachas in Hilchos Shabbos and elsewhere of what appears to be allowances and the consideration for a Jew's possession. And the Rebbe says, it's only $1. It's only a physical object. Why are we so concerned with it? Explains about Baal Shem Tov, because that's why the neshama came down lamata, is to elevate the sparks and those things. They're not to be treated as insignificant. Because since his money, whatever else that he owns, belongs to a Yid, again, that's the Baal Shem Tov. It's all tied in with the Baal Shem Tov's Chiddush of Hashgacha Pratis Mamish. The Hashgacha Pratis is, all the details are all part of the Kavanah. Shenitzutis elu shayochim l'shedesh nishmasi, not stam shaykh to the kavanda b'chlal. Someone's got to elevate these sparks sometime. No, it's you now. And what if you didn't? So this tshuva. Tshuva is able to reach back into the past, because it comes from level and neshama inside in time, and redeem all those engagements that were not redeemed initially. So it's never too late. The birur is part of his avodah. And through elevating the sparks and refining them and elevating them to their source, so this elevates the neshama, or as it's phrased elsewhere, reveals deeper levels of his own neshama in him. We find this by Golus Mitzrayim, which is the template of Geula Shaydei Natzvos Mitzrayim. They emptied out Mitzrayim. In the words of Rashi, brings the Shasuk Mitzul Shein Badagim. They made it like a net that had no fish. Completely emptied the net. Mitzul Shein Badagon, and like a silo, a storehouse that has no grain. Shebirus Anitzutz Shayochim LaAlma Discussion. So why these two Lashonas? There's a net of fish and a storehouse of grain. We need another metaphor. They emptied it. Chazal being maram is that they elevated two levels of nitzutzis. They revealed those nitzutzim which are shaykhs to Alma discuss here to the hidden worlds. As we know, right? The ocean is a reflection. The yam and the creatures in the ocean are a reflection of Alma discussion, which Bechal goes in Atzilus. It's all relative. Hidden world means hidden from us, and it also means a world where all of that which exists there is hidden and absorbed within the likus. Like fish that are one with their source of life, the water. So they elevated the sparks that fell from there. It's not really Atilus because it's really in Toyom, but everything's integrated. And they also elevated all those nitzutzis that come from the revealed worlds, the lower worlds, and that's reflected and hinted to in the Lashon Kimitzudashin Badagin, like a storehouse that has no grain. That's our world where things are seen and revealed, as opposed to the ocean, which is a teeming but hidden world. Al Yedei and Nasi L'Gani. So also this elevated Eden. He brings that Rebbe Marash Baruch. The Rebbe Marash explains at length, and Vayhi b'Shalach Para Yisrael. So Parai sent the people see this inside. Shrei Mishal, and I didn't. Shrei Mishaleach looks like the thing means branches. Maybe someone could look this up. With an aleph, enough it means branches, but I think Paris also means branches. V'oise pri, which makes fruit. Huh? What? I said enough means branches. I'm not sure the first word. L'mayla esa'om, to elevate the people. Meaning, bottom line we're seeing here is that fruit, Parai sends, and it elevates the people. Through the sparks, they elevated Mitzrayim. This caused them to be elevated in addition and an elevation. So through the Nitzutze Kedusha that a Yid elevates, he himself, the Neshama, also becomes elevated. The Maila Esa'am. And that's what said Gabe Golas Mitzrayim. The Eibusha says, was that a teal, the Baratz, I planted them in the land. Why invoking the notion of planting? They were planted in Mitzrayim, then Hashem took them out. What's the point of a plant or seeding? What's planting? Klum Odom Zerei Kur. Would anyone plant kur, which is an amount of seed? El Kedei Lohitzi Kama Kurin. It's only in order to extract a few, many more measures of that, not to get the same thing that you put in. That's the whole point of planting. Hainamashi Sol Nizru Begolos Yidnu are planted in Golos Mitzrayim B'Shvilei Sofish and Asabahem. That's in order to have the addition, the Aliyah, that they got out the Biranitzutzis through the elevation of the spot. You found something there? as the Rebbe Marash explains, details in the aliyah, the addition that happens to the yid through elevating the sparks. In general, as explained in Chassidus, the sparks come from Eilam Atoyu. The neshama at its most pristine level comes from Atzilus. By that we mean, notwithstanding the neshama comes v'chelik alakam mimal mamash, but it comes from Atzilus in terms of where it becomes a neshama. As a neshama with midas, Atzilus is the place where it becomes an entity. So the neshama coming down to the world, elevating the sparks, connects to Eilam Atoyu, which is higher than Atzilus. And that's the aliyah that the neshama gets through elevating the sparks. Oistes. Yes? Everybody's with me? So look at the pasuk here. So it says, on this very day, all the hosts of the Eibishter went out of Egypt. And then it says, on this very day, the Eibishter took them out, literally al tzivoisam, on their hosts, by their hosts. So there's two ways they refer to it. First they're called Tzivos Hashem, the hosts of Hashem, and then they're simply called al tzivoisam. And he explains the difference. Tzivos Havaya Loshen Somoch. So when described as Tzivos Hashem, Loshen Somoch means the word Tzivos Somoch means near, literally. It's a word, when it's spelt with a chirik under the tzaddik, any word, it's associated and has to be read together with the word next to it. Tzivos of what? Tzivos Hashem. It means hosts of. And you say with a chirik, it's the word of. You follow? So it's associated with the next word. So Tzivos Hashem, Loshen Somoch, what does this mean? These means the tzvois, the host, the nitzutze kedusha, shenisbaru begolus Mitzrayim, that the Yidden elevated in Golus Mitzrayim, v'nis alol, and they're associated with, become absorbed with, they're elevated likolo, to become absorbed b'shem havaya. Right? So tzivos havaya means the sparks absorbed within havaya. Shalchein nikroim tzivos havaya. Therefore, they're called tzivos adifishem tfeilim, because they're nullified to, or secondary, literally, and nullified with smuchim and nir v'nichlolim and absorbed b'shem havaya. So that's the meaning of the first pasuk. Yotze kol tzivos havaya. We're clear. Continuing, here we're clear. And because they elevated those sparks, so Yidna called that. Gamison dikrat tzivos havaya. So Yidna called tzivos havaya. But then it's a higher level. If you say it in Mizon, Hoitzi, then the pasuk goes on to describe. As a result of this avodah of elevating the sparks, describes the pasuk Yidden this way: Hoitzi avayis b'nei Yisrael al tzivoisam. The Eibusha took the Yidden out of Egypt, al, literally more, according to their hosts or by their hosts. But the fact is, it uses the word al, which is strange. Al, up higher on their hosts, according to by. The remes is the al above is hinting to the fact that Yidden are higher than the sparks, and that's how they're able to elevate them. Which means that even though the sparks fell from Eilam Atoyu, Yidden are mushrish in atzmos, and therefore the Eibush himself hide in Eilam Atoyu, and therefore they're able to elevate them. Therefore, they even hide in them. Only avoid by engaging the sparks and using it in kedusha. That's the whole chiddush of avodah.
Or is it that the fact that they're al tzivoisam gives them the koyach to engage the sparks?
Al tzivoisam means that they're higher than the sparks.
Right.
Yeah. No. That gives them the
question is, are they not? They're higher than the sparks, and so therefore they have the koyach to elevate the
them.
spark.
Yeah.
But it's not happening unless they do it, right. Even though they're naturally higher.
Okay.
They're not called it.
They took out the sparks. They were successful in the mission. Tzivos havaya, they elevated them, made them absorb Mishem havaya. Why? Because al tzivoisam. Because the Yid is even higher. To be explained further in Eis Yud. Let's go to Eis Yud. And this is the connection to these two terms. Tzivus Havai, which is both the Avodah and the description of Yidden. And then Al Tzivoisam, to the name that's referring to Yidden. To the name Tzvokis as it refers to Hashem. Because going back to what Tzvokis means. Tzvokis means the Eibishter reveal, as explained, the big Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe. The Eibishter revealed down in Biyah to the effect that in Biyah is revealed the truth, total bittul to Hashem. So now we understand how this Avodah leads to Shem Tzvokis and is one with the Shem Tzvokis. The Avodah, the Bir HaNitzutzis, V'skalusim B'Havaya, Tzivus Havaya, because it's precisely through the Yid engaging the world in Golos, etc., and elevating the sparks to Shem Havaya, Shaydei Avodah Zu Nasim Yisrael Al Tzivoisam. And through this Avodah, this reveals their higher source. The Ma'id B'chinas HaNitzutzis, Ha'id HaNitzutzis, by unlocking this is explained in the next ois, but I gave you the outline already. They're unlocking their own source that comes from a very lofty place. And manifested Torah. And this revelation bursts through, pierces all the parsois, the Pesachim means screens between parsois, means veils. Sheben Atzilus and Biyah, between Atzilus and Biyah, Achagam Biyah Nasi v'chad Gemei B'Atzilus. That's the Chiddush of Yidden because of Al Tzivoi. It all comes down to Al Tzivoisam. Because Yidden are higher than the Tzutzik Kedusha, they're higher than Ishtal Shalus, higher than Eilam HaToyah, from where the Tzutzik Kedusha come from. And therefore they're able to break all the natural boundaries. There's a natural boundary between Atzilus and B'riyah. Atzilus is one world and B'riyah is another world. And yet, despite these natural boundaries made by the Eibishter, because Yidden are Al Tzivoisam, and what brings out their Al Tzivoisam? The Eibishter is sending them down into the world and struggling with the physical world, but in the end, successfully elevating the sparks and using it, elevating them. So what's revealed is you're even higher than these sparks themselves, which is Olam HaToyu, and there are no limits to the Yid, because he's mushash in the Eibishter himself, and therefore all of the boundaries that previously existed that separated one level of creation from the other dissolve, and even in Olam Hazin and Biyah can be Yevachayachad like Atzilus. But this, the beautiful beer, which I'm not going to develop along with you, and then do Chazorah. Oh, we could do it? How? 1 second. What? It's only 7 hours ahead. 7 hours ahead. So what does that mean?
It's either 12:30, 1:30, 12:15, or 1:30.
I'm speaking in schools on Friday. So I'll let you know, okay? If it's, what's B'diak the time? I mean, I just must close the tape.